An Austin daycare center is facing a lawsuit after a family says an employee abused their child.
The family says they caught the caregiver on camera, and now they want justice for their 2-year-old son. KVUE's Kelsey Sanchez has more on that investigation.
When you look at these surveillance images, it's hard to tell what's going on. In one, you can see a woman with a hand on a child. In the other, a blanket covering him. But attorney Russell Button alleges the story behind these images is every parent's fear.
The father had seen on the live surveillance at the daycare his child actually being smothered and being abused by this caregiver. It's a 2-year-old kid.
Button represents the Dominguez family, who is suing the Children's Courtyard in Southwest Austin after they claim the employee in these images abused their son.
The dad, thankfully, was just watching the live feed, saw this, and immediately left work and went straight to the daycare and confronted them about this.
The lawsuit alleges the caregiver is seen smothering the child with a blanket while the other children in the room were asleep. It goes on to claim when the 2-year-old couldn't fall asleep is when the employee pulls the covers off and repeatedly slaps the child in the face and head. KVUE reached out to Children's Courtyard. A spokesperson says they're working with authorities and the employee in question is no longer working at the center, and said, quote, "The health and safety of the children we serve is our highest priority." End quote. The family's attorney tells me that the parents did their research and was under the impression the Children's Courtyard had a clean record. But after this incident, it was revealed that the daycare center had prior violations. And according to Texas Health and Human Services, those violations date back to 2019. Online records show investigations from Texas Health and Human Services details incidents where children were left unsupervised, failure to report an incident, lack of competency on the job, and a situation where children were dancing on tables and taking off their clothes.
This case is to create awareness and to hold Children's Courtyard accountable so it doesn't happen to another child.
Button says the family took their child out of daycare.
His family is working through the process of healing from this traumatic experience as best as possible, and they're still on that journey.
He says this is just the beginning of a long process to get a small piece of justice. In Southwest Austin, Kelsey Sanchez, KVUE News.
Well, so far it's unclear if the daycare worker will face any charges. And here's some advice from Texas Health and Human Services on finding a daycare that fits your family's needs. Do your research by checking out the state's database of child care providers. That's where you can find if a facility is properly licensed. You can also review inspection reports and check for any previous problems. It's also recommended to review the number of children the facility cares for and any certifications it has received. We've included a link to the database with this story on our website, KVUE.com.